What's up YouTube? So it's me, Carlos, here to give you guys a video on 3 different ways to squat. So why is it important to know this? How is it going to help you? Well, everybody has different goals, whether it's powerlifting or maybe bodybuilding where you just want to grow the muscle, or maybe you just want to target specific areas in your leg. Well, this is going to help you. You could be putting all this effort into your workout, but if it's not in the right direction, you're not going to see the results that you want to get. Or it might take a lot longer than what you could have, than in the time you could have gotten it. So I'm going to go over the high bar, the low bar, and the front squat. Before I do that though, I need to talk about center of gravity and how that's important to you and your body mechanics. So here's a quick clip of me in the gym explaining that. Started first with what is the center of gravity. And generally when you're standing up, your center of gravity is going to be like right below your belly button. But for the purpose of this video, for squatting here, your center of gravity is going to be in the middle of your foot right here. You want the bar to stay in the center of gravity. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways of how your back is going to be angled, but the bar stays in the center of gravity. Alright guys, so what I want you to pay attention here to is my back. My back is upright. It's pretty much straight up compared to the ground. The other day this girl was trying to teach another girl how to squat, and she was saying your back should always be up, like straight up and down. And that's not necessarily true. You always want the bar to be in the center of gravity. As you can see here, I'm leaning forward a bit more, but the bar is in the middle of my foot. It's in the center of gravity. That's what you want. Alright guys, so now we're going to go to the high bar squat. High bar, I would recommend it for people who are just starting out, or maybe you're really busy. You don't have that much time in the gym. It's great for overall development of your quads, your hamstrings, and your glutes. However, it's still just a little bit more on your quads. The high bar, the bar is placed on top of your traps, and that creates like a natural shelf for the bar to sit in. When I'm dropping down, notice also my feet, they're a little bit out. This will create a greater base of support. So when I'm dropping down, it's like I'm sitting in between my legs, like this. As you notice, my chest stays up, my chin stays up, and I squeeze my glutes when I'm coming up. All right, the bar is above, on top of my traps, base of support, a little wide. And squeeze. Alright guys, here I just want to quickly show or explain the bar. As you can see, it's on top of my traps, and the bar is in the center of gravity in the middle of my foot. I'm upright and I'm squeezing my glutes as I come up. Alright guys, so what I want to talk about now is the distance of your lever arm. So we're going to focus on your hips and your knees here. Your ankles are also considered, but since they stay in the same place, we're just going to talk about the hips and the knees. Okay you guys, so now I want to talk about the lever arm length. And I was talking about it in the gym, but you can't really hear me clearly because of all the noise in the background. And this is something very important to understand. There's several examples of this, but I want to show you one where maybe you can try it yourself to better understand this. So stand by a door, any door in your house. There's a side of the door where there's hinges, and there's a side where there's the handle. If you poke with one finger the door where the handle is, it's gonna swing open relatively easy, right? But now try the same thing with the same force. Poke the door where the hinges are, or close to the hinges, and you'll see that you have to apply so much more force. And this is because of the lever arm length. Also think about like a bolt or a nut or something screwed tightly, if you get a little wrench and you try and squeeze it out, you need to apply a lot of force. But if you increase the size of your wrench, you know, like a foot-long wrench, you don't have to apply so much force. Again, that's because of the length of the lever arm. It increases your force amount. So here in these diagrams I'm going to show you the size of the arrow, that indicates your lever arm length. The bigger the arrow, the more force that it applies. Okay, so here's a little guy. He's doing the high bar squat. As you can see, the yellow line is the center of gravity. It's in the center of the foot. The bar is going to be where the back and that yellow line intersect, where they meet. So the red arrow indicates the length of the hip joint, and the blue arrow indicates the length of the knee joint. As you can see, they're about the same length, so this is why the high bar is overall development of your entire leg. Alright, now let's talk about the low bar, you guys. This version or this method is very popular amongst powerlifters or people who are just trying to move heavy weight. I like to use in the starting of my leg routines. I need to make sure as I'm losing weight, that I'm not losing muscle. So there's a difference between losing weight and getting lean, but that's a different topic. It's called low bar because the bar is placed right behind your rear delts, right here. However, in this way, you have to create that shelf I was talking about. So you're going to retract your shoulders, you're going to raise your shoulders up a little bit, your elbows up a little bit, and your lats, they stay flared, they're tight. When you're coming down, your back is going to be angled slightly forward. This is just to keep the bar in line with the center of gravity. And also, when you're coming up, you want to thrust your hips forward. In this clip, the light hits me best at this angle. I would show you from the side, but the spacing in the gym is not right. But anyway, here as you can see, the bar is right on the rear delts, right in the bottom of my traps. And it's like a nice little shelf in place. It's nice and snug there. So here's a quick diagram helping explain as to why you can lift more weight. Alright, the same concept applies here as before. The lever arm length. As you can see, the red arrow is for the hip joint. The longer it is, the more force it's going to produce. You see the red arrow, how long it is? Now compare that to the blue arrow. The blue arrow is for your knee joint. So this is just to help you visualize where most of the force is going to come from. Why the low bar is mainly a hamstring and a glute dominant exercise, and still just a little bit of quads, but not as much. Alright guys, now we're going to go into front squatting. Front squatting is actually my favorite because I'm trying to develop my quads. You're going to need some upper back strength. Your core is going to be really engaged here, and it's going to, like I said, it's going to focus on your quads. So the bar, it's placed right below your neck. It's on your collarbone, or right below your collarbone. And it's also sitting on your front delts right here. So after this, you're going to see like a red line where it sits. The hands, they're just there to secure the bar. They're not grabbing onto the bar, they're just to secure it. So I can, if I wanted to, I can front squat like this, or like this. So the hands are just there to secure it. Elbows stay up to help, to keep you from dropping the weight. So let me demonstrate how that's gonna look. Okay, you guys, so here I'm just demonstrating the front squat. Sorry for the bad angle. I'll try and get a better shot next time. But as you can see, it's sitting comfortably right on top of my collarbone and the front delts. Real quick, you guys, before I begin talking about the levers here, these drawings are not to scale. I'm kind of exaggerating just a bit here and there just to help you visualize what I'm trying to explain. So for the front squat here, you can see that the blue lever, which is for the knee joint, it's longer than the red arrow, which is for the hip joint, right? So the quads here are going to be working harder than your glutes and hamstrings. So this is why the front squat is more quad dominant. This is why it's very popular for bodybuilders when they're trying to build up their quads. Now let me talk about depth. How low should you go? Because this is a quad dominant form of squatting, you do not have to go below parallel. If you want to work on your quads and hamstrings, if you want to work on your glutes and your hamstrings, you're going to want to do like a low bar squatting version. Also, say on leg day you do deadlifts and you do squatting. What you're going to want to do, preferably the conventional way of deadlifting, like this, you use a lot of posterior chain. So when you're squatting, preferably do the front squat version. This way you use your anterior chain to move the weight. That's just a recommendation. Besides all that, you guys, I really hope it helped. If you have any questions. Alright guys, so there you guys have it. 3 different ways to squat and how they can help you. I really hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. And just leave me comments. Send me inboxes if you guys try these different ways. Hit me up on Facebook. Send me a snap or DM me on Instagram or whatever y'all do nowadays. Let me know what you think. Really appreciate to hear from you guys. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. And I gotta get going because I got class right now. So I'll see you again later, you guys. Bye.